Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya and this is my island Okanda, and today we are continuing on with my Rocky Mountains build. If you didn't see part 1, creating all the terraforming and a little hot springs area, I'll put that up in the cards there. But today we're working on Hans's house, which is the central point of this Rocky Mountain. He is the heart of our Rocky Mountain area. So this is the space that we're working with for Hans's yard area. Kind of comes over here. You can see the hot springs down below, and we have this tiny little area of cliff over here, and then on this side we have filled out the cliff. This is actually on the 3rd level of my island. That is the 4th level up there. We did some glitch work. You can see down there is the entryway to get onto this area, so we will be completing the unfinished areas surrounding here, and then the only other part that we'll have to do on this Rocky Mountains build is the rock garden, which will be over here somewhere. Does anybody know the look that I'm going for in this outfit here? Anything particularly Canadian about this outfit? I'll pin the comment that gets this answer right. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into this build. So I'm starting off with a little seating area, and I'm using the frozen chairs that are so cute for Hans's area. I just wanted to make it feel more like icy and wintry, and I thought I would use the log table, put a big table in the middle there, but I end up just going with an iron garden table in between the two, as if it's like a little seating area, kind of a little more low-key. And I thought that I wanted that street lamp there on the bottom. That one does not end up staying because it's kind of awkward how it just peeks over into the build, especially at night. Something about having street lights in the foreground is like super distracting for me. I don't know why. So at one point in history, when I was thinking about doing another island, and actually when I was planning out my YouTube channel in general, is I was thinking I wanted to do like a 4 seasons island. Like, you would use the standees at all their different seasons. You would just get different paths for each of the different areas, and you would set it in like something nondescript, like early spring or something like that, when the grass is pretty nondescript. And then you could get other grass, like you could get a snowy path for winter, and you could get like a spring path for the more springy areas, and a really dark summer one, cherry blossoms. And then yeah, I had this whole idea planned out that I wanted to do an island that had all 4 seasons represented, and I was planning on using a lot of the standee items to accomplish that. I still think it's a great idea, but I think the custom designs would get out of control, and I don't think I would have the patience to think through all of that. It would also be a little bit difficult to make your island feel like consistent. It would be like a multi-themed island, but each of the themes would be a different season. I don't know if anybody's ever tried that before. I would love to see an island like that. I just don't know if I have the patience to do that. I just don't know if I do. Anyways, all that is just to say that I really like the standee items because they can evoke the feeling of a different season than what your island is actually set in. For example, here, we're up in the mountains, so I wanted to make it feel snowy because, of course, the Rocky Mountains, there's, I think, always some amount of snow up there. I've never actually been to the Rocky Mountains before. I would love to go. I've never even been out to, like, the west coast of Canada. I'm from, like, the bottom of Ontario, which is like where apparently like 70% of Canada's population lives. But I do actually have family and friends out that direction that I would really like to visit at some point, so maybe one day. But for now, I'm gonna live vicariously through my Animal Crossing island, which is like nowhere close to the beauty that's actually out on that side of the country. But you know what? Well, it's representation. It's an illustration of BC and the Rocky Mountains area. So this mountain standee gave me so much trouble. I was trying to place it for so long, and then I ended up picking it up and replacing it anyways. It was pretty awful. And that little stunted tree, that little sapling behind that other tree, I end up moving that over a little bit so I can fit some items. And here we go with the little seating area for some coffee. One thing that was a little bit unintentional with this build was little pops of red. It started off unintentional, and then I actually did customize something so that it did have red. But those two, the lantern and the mug, I just kind of grabbed them because I thought they looked cute. And then I was like, wait a minute, everything is red. So I also incorporated the red iron hanger stand, and then I put a pile of red leaves there too, and even the little thread on the little sled there has some red to it, and it came together really quickly, this build. And for a build that came together quickly, sometimes I often feel like I'm gonna go back and change that. It just was really quick, but this one was like, I'm genuinely happy with everything about it. I spent a lot of time at the end just like running in circles being like, is there anything else I should add here? But there isn't. I'm really happy with it just the way that it is. So that was really different and interesting because I feel like I've been spending a long time, as I say at the end. Also, I've been spending a long time on my builds lately, and they've been like still really builds that I'm extremely happy with, of course, but I mean, it's just nice to have a win where it's like this one came together really quickly. I want to just say thank you so much to everybody who's been watching my Treasure Island videos. I feel like they're getting a lot of traction lately, and I'm really happy about that because I really want more people to experience the joys of Treasure Islands, and they're really super easy to use. I did post a community tab post just recently about which kind of Treasure Island content you would like to see from me in the future. So if you haven't already voted on that, there are a couple of options there, and I'd really like to know your opinion on what kind of Treasure Island videos you'd like to see from me in the future. In the meantime, would you believe it or not, we're almost finished with this build. Super short, but that's because we had all of the terraforming set up in the previous video on this area, and we will have another build that'll be a little bit more time consuming on my end, but I hope I can edit it down well enough. But that will be our rock garden. I think I'm going to finish off the other areas of Okanda before we go over to the rock garden to finish that up. After that, we only have a few more builds left, and then we'll be wrapping Okanda up very shortly and moving on to my next island, which I'm super excited about. So I'm gonna let you watch the rest of this build, which is literally almost done, and we'll see the final shots. Wow, what a difference having the terraforming set up already makes in the speed of your build. That's crazy. I am so happy with how Hans's yard turned out. I can't wait to actually see him up here because I think the colors are gonna match him literally perfectly. I love the touches of red. I don't know if I went overboard with the touches of red, but it just happened very naturally, so I'm really happy about that. I love all of the standee items. I love the little puppies. He's got his little dog sled. I'm so pleased with how this area came out and how quickly it came together because like typically it's like 2.5, 3, 4 hours of building. Let me know what you think, guys, as always, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.